awesome. I hope you get the full experience of the show. I'm going to need a volunteer. Anybody volunteer for me? Anybody? One or two volunteers? Preferably from different couples, so that the person left over can take pictures.
You know what guys want to
Yeah, can I?
No, wait, get the pointer.
Oh, get the pointer, that's right. Okay, come on. And you, sir. Your name, sir. Come here. Anthony, everybody, Anthony over here. Anthony's going to help us out too. All right. So let me quietly explain to you what you're supposed to do. So here's what's going to happen is we're going to pay no attention to them. So pay attention over here. So what's going to happen is we're going to tell you a story, a holiday story. And it's going to be a pop-up story. So they are going to be the characters in the pop-up story as we tell the story. What I need is, what is a holiday story that has never been written before? It just doesn't exist. If you were like, just create a holiday story off the top of your head, what would it be? Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or Santa Claus Came to Town?
The chinchilla that ate Santa.
The chinchilla that ate Santa. That's excellent. The chinchilla that ate Santa.
This is my favorite.
This is your favorite Christmas story? This is my favorite Christmas story too. So here we go. So we are about to read The Chinchilla That Ate Santa. And let's open the cover. Once upon a time, there was a chinchilla that was very, just freeze, just take a position and freeze. There we go, got it. All right. Once upon a time, there was a chinchilla that ate, there was a chinchilla who was very, very hungry. This is Charisse the chinchilla. Charisse the chinchilla was very popular amongst her friends, but her friends didn't like to eat. They were supermodel Instagram models who never ate anything, and all she wanted to do was eat, and she couldn't. So unfortunately, Charisse, this chinchilla, couldn't get along with her friends. One day, Bobby came around. Bobby was also a chinchilla, but he was a troublemaking bad boy chinchilla. And he had his friends too, who would always coax him into doing trouble. Well, one day, Bobby and Charisse, is that the name? I keep forgetting. Charisse met. Let's see the next page. There we go. Oh, there it is. It's there. That's magical. Okay. Charisse and Bobby finally laid eyes upon each other. And his friend was like, "What's up, bro? You gonna go talk to that hot chinchilla over there, or what?" So Bobby made his way over to Charisse. It's a pop-up book, so there's little tabs and stuff. Yes. Meanwhile, all of Charisse's friends were too busy in the background taking pictures to even notice. Except for one friend who was like, "No, don't talk to that Bobby guy because he's trouble." So she waved her finger, "Nuh-uh." Lame. Okay. Bobby talked to Charisse and said, "Hey, I know something really cool that we can do. There's this really fat guy who lives up at the North Pole, and I want to go give him some trouble." And Charisse was like, that sounds delicious. Let's check out the next page. Here we go. So Charisse and Bobby started making their way up to the North Pole. At one point, they ran into a preacher. And the preacher was telling them, "No, do not go forth any further on this journey, for it is against the laws of man and chinchilla for you to accomplish your goals." And then he bowed a bunch of times. But Charisse was just so hungry because she was saving her appetite for the big fat man at the North Pole. There was also a Sherpa. And there was also a documentary crew that was following them around and they heard of their story so that they could show it on Discovery Channel later. Let's check out the next page. Charisse couldn't take it any longer. She was now starving at this point, But Bobby had found the Santa Claus man and brought him to Charisse. Little did they know that Santa's reindeer were standing guard and ready to kick Charisse the moment she tried to lay a finger on the fat man. Meanwhile, the documentary crew, as you can see, the cameraman and the boom mic operator, we're all following along, and the preacher finally gave in and said, you know what? This is kind of cool. And then he did that finger guns thing. I didn't put your tab yet, but here we go. There we go, finger guns. Let's watch as Bobby slowly feeds Santa to Charisse. There we go. Okay, next page. Next page. Charisse had finally had her fill. The documentary crew got everything they needed for the documentary, and Charisse thanked Bobby by hugging him. And if you think this is a sad story, don't, because what you don't know is one of Santa Claus's little-known magical powers is to recreate himself after he's been eaten by a chinchilla. And here he is, looking all fabulous in his Instagram photos.